The night shift at Deep Space Listening Station 9 was usually quiet, sometimes too quiet. Commander Ryan Hale sat alone in the dim control room staring at the wall of blinking screens. The machines hummed softly, picking up signals from far across the galaxy. Most signals were just static or harmless cosmic noise. Nothing exciting ever happened here, but Ryan didn't mind. He liked the emptiness, the silence, the distance from politics and people. He liked the idea that somewhere out there in the endless darkness someone might be calling. And maybe one day humanity would finally hear them. Tonight that call arrived. It began with a soft beep, a new signal alert, the kind that only triggered for something unusual. Ryan leaned forward. Another asteroid reflection, he muttered. But then the second beep came, then the third. The computer screen changed to red, restricted frequency detected. Ryan straightened in his chair. Restricted frequency, that was impossible. Only military channels used that category and nothing human should be transmitting from that part of space. He quickly typed commands trying to trace the source. The signal was weak, like it had traveled a long way, but its path was clear. It came from outside the Orion arm, far beyond any human presence. Ryan felt a small pulse of excitement. This could be first contact, a real one. But then the speakers turned on by themselves, and a voice spoke, not a human voice, not even close. A deep, rough, distorted sound filled the room. It felt like metal grinding, like a creature breathing through broken lungs. The sound alone made the hair on Ryan's arm stand up. Then words formed. "Congratulations, humans." The voice echoed through the station, cold and mocking. Ryan froze. "Humans." The message was directly addressing humanity. The voice continued. "You have just declared war on the most lethal species alive." Then silence, a silence so deep that Ryan could hear his own heartbeat pounding against his ribs. He replayed the message twice, then 3 times. The words didn't change. The tone didn't soften. Each time it felt colder. Declared war. How? Who? Humans were not fighting anyone. Humanity had barely explored its nearby star systems. There were no colonies far enough to meet unknown species. Ryan felt a sudden shiver. This wasn't a random broadcast. It was a reply, but a reply to what? He opened the data logs, searching for outgoing signals. After several minutes of combing through long-range transmissions, he found something strange. A probe. An old, simple, human-made probe launched years ago. It wasn't armed. It wasn't dangerous. It carried only a basic human greeting. So how could this innocent machine create such a horrible misunderstanding? Ryan didn't know, but he knew one thing. This message needed to be reported immediately. He stood, grabbed his datapad, and rushed to the emergency console. His fingers shook slightly as he activated the red alert channel. "Commander Hale to Earth Command," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "We have received a first contact signal, and it is threatening." He sent the recording. He waited. The reply came faster than he expected. "Commander Hale, confirm authenticity." The officer on the other side demanded. Ryan swallowed. "Confirmed. Signal origin is unknown but extragalactic. Message is clear." There was a pause, a long, heavy pause. Ryan imagined the officer's face turning pale as he listened to the horrible voice. Then the officer spoke again. "Commander, prepare for lockdown. We're sending a shuttle." Ryan paced the room. His mind was racing, but everything felt unreal. Why would an alien species accuse humans of declaring war? Why threaten them so aggressively? And how did they even know about humanity? He didn't get time to think more. The lights suddenly flickered. The screens turned black, then flashed with a new warning. "Incoming transmission, unknown source." Ryan's mouth went dry. Another message. Before he could react, the speakers turned on again. This time, the voice was even deeper, even more angry, and much closer. "You cannot hide. We heard your challenge. We accept." Ryan stepped back. His breath caught in his throat. The message wasn't just a broadcast now. It had locked onto the station specifically. A personal message. A threat sent directly to him. Suddenly, the whole building trembled. Ryan grabbed the nearest table to keep his balance. "What now?" he whispered. The vibration grew stronger, like something massive was passing near the station, something big enough to affect gravity. Ryan looked at the ceiling, then at the sealed windows that faced open space. He hesitated only a moment before walking toward them. Every instinct screamed at him not to look, but he had to. He pressed the window control and the thick shield slid open, and outside he saw darkness, pure darkness, not the normal, peaceful darkness of space, but a moving shadow, a shape, huge, silent, wrong. A dark mass glided past the station like a giant predator drifting through deep water. No lights, no engines visible, no markings. But Ryan felt it watching him. His skin crawled, his heart hammered. This thing was not human, and it was too close. He stepped back slowly. The shadowy shape faded into the distance, but another tremor shook the station. A system alarm blared, motion detected, outer perimeter breached. Something had touched the hull, something alive. Ryan reached for the emergency barrier switch, but stopped when a second message whispered through the speakers. This one was almost gentle, almost curious. "Do you fear us?" Ryan froze. The whisper felt like it came from behind him, not from the speakers. He spun around. No one was there. He tapped the alarm. The whole station locked down, doors sealed, lights brightened, defense systems activated. Earth Command's voice came through again. "Commander Hale, report. What's happening?" Ryan forced himself to speak. Something is outside the station. The officer on the comm sounded horrified. That's impossible. You're in deep space, no ship should be near you. I don't know what it is, Ryan replied, but it's watching us. Before Earth Command could answer, the station power flickered again. Sparks flew from the main console. The alarms shut down one by one. The lights dimmed until only the emergency glow remained. Ryan took a deep breath. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't trained for alien encounters. But right now, he was the only human in direct contact with something hostile. A noise echoed through the ventilation shaft. A slow, scraping sound, metal against metal. Ryan tightened his grip on his datapad. He felt like a child compared to whatever creature was now inside the walls. Another whisper came, "We study our prey before the hunt." Ryan's entire body tensed. Prey, that's what humans were to them. He moved slowly toward the weapons locker, trying not to make noise. His hands trembled as he unlocked it and grabbed the emergency plasma pistol. He knew the weapon was useless against something that could move between stars so easily, but it made him feel slightly less helpless. The station grew quiet again, too quiet. Ryan held his breath and listened. Nothing, then a crash. A metal panel fell from the ceiling. Something dropped through the hole, something small, round, and alive. It crawled across the floor like a mechanical spider. But its legs were organic, twitching with unnatural movements. Ryan aimed his gun. The creature stopped, then without warning it opened like a flower, revealing an eye inside, a glowing red eye. It stared at Ryan, and then it spoke in that same terrible voice. "War begins with the first look." Ryan fired. The plasma bolt hit the creature. It exploded in a burst of sparks and burnt flesh. A horrible smell filled the room, but before Ryan could feel relief, every console turned red again. A final message appeared on the screens. "We come, prepare your graves." The shadow outside the station moved again, and then the whole place shook violently. Ryan stumbled toward the emergency escape pod. He didn't look back. He didn't stop. He slammed the pod door shut and launched it just as the listening station imploded behind him. Through the small window, he watched in horror as the massive shadow swallowed the remains of Station 9. His escape pod drifted silently into space. Ryan whispered to himself, voice shaking, "Earth must know." Behind him, the stars felt suddenly darker, as if something ancient and deadly was now awake and coming. The escape pod drifted through the cold silence of space for hours before rescue ships reached it. When Commander Ryan was pulled aboard the patrol vessel, he looked like a man who had stared into the eyes of death, and survived only because death had allowed him to. The officers rushed him to medical, but Ryan refused treatment. "I need to talk to Earth Command," he insisted. His voice was steady, but his eyes held a haunted emptiness. Within minutes, a secure communication line opened. The holographic faces of Earth's highest officials appeared, leaders, generals, and scientists, but two faces stood out among them, Ambassador Zeron of the Vaktari Empire and Ambassador Threya of the Yulan Coalition. Two of humanity's closest alien allies. Both looked disturbed, even afraid. Ryan explained everything, the message, the shadow outside the station, the creature that crawled from the ceiling, the final threat. The council did not interrupt. They listened in absolute silence. When Ryan finished, the humans in the room exchanged worried glances. But the two alien ambassadors looked worse, shaken, pale, and hiding something. General Marcus spoke first. "Commander Hale, what exactly did you see outside the station?" Ryan swallowed. "I saw a shape, huge, silent, like a predator watching me through the glass." Threya flinched. Zeron lowered his head. Ryan noticed instantly. "You know something," he said. Both of you. Neither answered. General Marcus stepped forward. "Ambassadors, humanity deserves the truth." Threya's voice trembled. "You were never supposed to encounter them, never." "Who are they?" Ryan demanded. Zeron finally spoke, his voice low and heavy. "They are called the Red Harvesters." The room fell silent. Even their name felt sharp and violent. Ryan repeated it softly. "Harvesters? They do not harvest food," Zeron said. "They harvest life." Ryan felt a chill crawl down his spine. Threya continued, her long fingers shaking. "When a harvester fleet enters a star system, nothing remains. No cities, no people, no atmosphere, nothing." She paused. "They destroy everything and leave only silence." General Marcus slammed his fist on the table. "Why didn't you warn us?" Zeron's eyes filled with shame. "Because we hoped you would never be noticed by them. Your species evolved too fast, too quickly, faster than any we have seen." Threya nodded. "You spread through space faster than expected. You sent probes into regions no species dares to enter." Ryan felt a sinking feeling. "So the probe we sent entered their territory?" "Yes," Zeron said. "The harvesters believe you challenged them. They do not understand accidents. They see everything as a declaration of dominance." Ryan's jaw tightened. "And now they're coming for us." Threya looked pained. "They always come. Once they choose a prey, they never stop." A long silence followed. Then General Marcus said the words everyone feared: "We must prepare Earth for war." But Zeron quickly held up a hand. No, you must evacuate Earth. The room erupted. Ryan stared in shock. Evacuate, abandon our home. Threya nodded sadly. It is the only way to survive the harvesters. No species has ever defended their homeworld, not once. General Marcus looked furious. We are not cowards. Humans do not run. The alien ambassadors looked at each other with pity. Xeron spoke carefully. Your courage, your defiance, these are the reasons we thought humans had a chance to rise, but this enemy is not one you can defeat. Ryan stepped forward. No, you don't understand humans. We don't lose before the fight even begins. Threya sighed. That is why we fear for you. Before the debate could continue, a loud alarm echoed through the chamber. Alert, unknown anomaly detected near Earth orbit, classified as hostile signature. Everyone froze. General Marcus opened the live feed on the main screen. Ryan felt his heart stop. A giant dark shape was sliding into Earth's orbit, just like the one he saw outside Station 9, huge, silent, watching, a harvester scout. The council chamber erupted with noise, panic, shouting, commands being shouted into comms, but Ryan didn't hear any of it. He could only hear the whispered words from the creature in the station, we study our prey before the hunt. And now the harvester was studying Earth. General Marcus barked orders. Activate orbital defenses, prepare intercept fighters, lock all space elevators, seal all colonies. But the alien ambassadors looked defeated. Threya whispered, it's too late. Xeron added, their scouts never come alone, the fleet follows. Ryan stared at the screen as the dark ship drifted slowly above Earth like a shadow crawling across the sky. His voice was quiet but strong. They're here. And in that moment, every human in the room felt the same cold truth. The war had already begun. The Harvester scout ship hovered in Earth's orbit like a dark omen. Every country, every colony, every outpost was watching the live broadcast. People prayed, cried, panicked. But Commander Ryan Hale didn't have time for fear. He stood with General Marcus and the alien ambassadors inside Earth Command's strategic room, staring at the massive shadow on the screen. It's not attacking, Ryan said. His voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. It's waiting. Threya shivered. That is what makes them more dangerous. General Marcus frowned. Waiting for what? Xeron stepped forward slowly. For a mistake, harvesters love testing new prey. They push it, they poke it, they corner it, and watch how it reacts. Marcus clenched his fists. Well, they won't like how humans react. But Ryan wasn't listening anymore. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. He turned away from the main screen and focused on a smaller monitor inside the corner of the room. It displayed a pattern, a pulsing rhythm coming from the Harvester scout ship. Is that a signal? Ryan asked. The tech officer nodded nervously. Yes, sir, but it's scrambled. We can't translate it. Ryan leaned closer. The pulses were too deliberate, too structured to be random. He recognized the pattern. Looked exactly like the same rhythm from the message he heard at Station 9. Ryan's heart tightened. It's the same species, he whispered. General Marcus looked at him. Explain. Ryan took a deep breath. When the station was attacked, the message I heard wasn't just spoken. It had a background pulse, a digital heartbeat. This is the same one. Threya looked horrified. They're trying to communicate. Xeron's eyes darkened. No, they are counting. Counting? Ryan asked. Counting what? Xeron answered with a trembling voice. Your weaknesses. Ryan felt goosebumps crawl up his arms. The pulses became faster. The scout ship slowly rotated, pointing toward Earth, not aiming weapons, just watching. General Marcus barked, arm all orbital cannons. But Ryan suddenly shouted, stop. Everyone froze. Ryan stepped closer to the general. If we fire first, we confirm their belief that humans want war. That will bring the entire Harvester fleet. Marcus looked torn but lowered his hand. Threya nodded. Commander Hale is right. Harvesters respond to aggression with annihilation. Xeron added, and they respond to weakness with entertainment. Ryan frowned. Entertainment, Xeron swallowed. They enjoy watching prey panic. They choose victims who give them the most fear. It makes the hunt fun for them. Ryan felt sick, so they want us afraid. The ambassadors nodded. General Marcus slammed the table. Well, they came to the wrong planet for that. But Ryan wasn't finished. He looked at the signal again. His mind raced. This is not a simple scan, Ryan said slowly. They're looking for something specific. What? Threya asked. Ryan pointed at the rhythm. A reply. Everyone stared at him. What do you mean? General Marcus asked. Ryan turned to the council. When our probe entered their territory, it sent a message. A simple human greeting. They didn't understand it. They thought it was a challenge. Now they're expecting us to follow the same format. Xeron's eyes widened. You mean they want to see how you answer your own challenge? Ryan nodded. Yes, they want our next move. Marcus stepped forward. Then we ignore them. No, Ryan said firmly. If we stay silent, they will think we are weak or scared. Threya whispered, and if you answer wrong, they will think you want war. Ryan stared at the looming scout ship. Humanity stood between two deadly choices. Say nothing, right arrow, look weak, right arrow, be hunted. Say something wrong, right arrow, look aggressive, right arrow, be eradicated. Ryan felt pressure tightening on his chest. Humanity had one chance, one message. What should they say to a predator species who believes humans declared war? And then the Harvester ship changed behavior. The pulses stopped. The screen showed a ripple of movement along the ship's surface, like skin shifting or armor breathing. A large opening appeared on its side. Everyone stared in horror as a long, thin beam of red light shot downward, not as a weapon but as a scanner. The beam touched Earth's atmosphere. Tech officers panicked. "Sir, they're scanning cities, multiple locations, random. They're mapping biology, population, defenses, everything." Ryan felt cold dread. "They're choosing who dies first." General Marcus finally snapped. "That's it, fire the orbital cannons." Ryan grabbed his arm. "General, wait, if you fire," but the room shook violently. The scout ship sent a second scan beam, brighter and wider. Tech officer screamed, "It's scanning you, Commander." Ryan's blood turned to ice. The beam locked onto his identity profile in the system. "Why him? Why pick him out of everyone?" The tech officer looked at the data in shock. "Commander, the ship is matching your voice pattern." Ryan's heart pounded. His voice, the message, that whispered line inside Station 9. "You fear us." He understood. The harvester creature in Station 9 had heard him, recorded him, marked him. Now the scout ship was connecting him to that encounter. Ryan felt the weight of the galaxy pressing on his lungs. Xeron spoke softly. "The harvesters have chosen their target." Threya looked at Ryan with pity. "They never choose randomly," General Marcus whispered. "Chosen for what?" Ryan swallowed hard. "For the first kill." The chamber fell silent. The harvester scout hovered above Earth like a dark god pointing a finger. But then something unexpected happened. The beam flickered. The scout ship's shape twisted. The rhythm pulse restarted, faster, stronger. The tech officer's face turned pale. "Sir, it's sending another message." Everyone listened as the speakers cracked. The voice came again, dark, echoing, and terrifying. "Human, you survived our first greeting." Ryan's breath hitched. "Now we come to test your species." The scout ship pulled away from Earth, drifting toward the dark side of the moon, and as it vanished from visual range, the final words echoed through the room, "Prepare your world." After the harvester scout disappeared behind the moon, Earth Command fell into a silence so deep it felt like the air itself had frozen. People stared at each other. No one dared to breathe. But Commander Ryan Hale couldn't stay still. Something inside him was burning, a mix of fear, anger, and a strange determination. General Marcus finally spoke, breaking the silence. "Everyone meet in the war room now." The room emptied quickly, leaving only Ryan, Threya, and Xeron. Threya approached Ryan with gentle steps, her blue eyes worried. "Commander, the harvesters never choose someone without reason. You must understand the history to understand your danger." Ryan frowned. "Then tell me the history, everything." Xeron hesitated. His long, dark robe trembled slightly as if he feared speaking the next words. "History of the harvesters is forbidden in our cultures." Ryan stepped closer. "Not anymore. Earth is already involved." Threya exchanged a glance with Xeron, then nodded slowly. "Very well, you deserve the truth." They walked to a quiet briefing room. The lights dimmed automatically as Threya tapped a control panel. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared, bright clusters of stars and long spiral arms. But many places on the map were black, empty, silent. Ryan's eyes narrowed. "What are those regions?" Xeron answered quietly. "Grave zones, entire star systems erased." Threya expanded one of the black zones. A cluster of stars flickered into view, everyone marked with a red X. "Thousands of years ago," she began, "there were many great civilizations here. Empires bigger than anything humans have seen. They were strong, wise, united." Ryan listened carefully. "Then the harvesters arrived," Xeron continued. "No announcements, no warning, only darkness." Ryan leaned forward. "Why, what do they want?" Threya shook her head. "They don't want land, they don't want resources, they don't want diplomacy." Xeron's voice became cold. "They hunt life because they enjoy it." Ryan stared at the dark zones. "So all those civilizations gone?" Threya nodded. "Erased, their planets stripped to rock, their moons harvested for metal, their people taken." Ryan felt a deep chill. "What do they do with the people?" Xeron closed his eyes. "They study them, they break them, they use them to learn the weaknesses of future targets." Ryan clenched his fists. "So we're just entertainment to them." Threya looked at him sadly. "To them, all species are prey. But humans are different." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "Different how?" Xeron hesitated, then spoke. "Because you grow fast, too fast, and you resist. Even now you refuse to bow or flee." Ryan shrugged. "Humans don't run from monsters." Threya sighed. "That is why they find you interesting." Ryan looked confused. "Interesting? Dangerous prey is the most fun to hunt," Xeron whispered. A long silence followed. Then Ryan asked the question no one wanted to hear. "How long until the main harvester fleet arrives?" Threya's face paled. "We do not know." Xeron added, "But when the scout chooses a world, the fleet usually follows within months." Ryan exhaled slowly. Months. Earth had months, or maybe less, before the conversation could continue. An alarm echoed through the building. "Alert. Unknown signal origin. Lunar surface classification. Extreme hostile." Ryan's heartbeat spiked. "From the moon?" he asked. The tech officer's voice came over the intercom, shaking with panic. "Commander, the harvester scout, it's doing something on the moon." The three of them rushed to the observation deck. A giant holographic display showed the dark side of the moon. At first, Ryan saw nothing unusual, just a barren, silent landscape. Then the image zoomed in and Ryan's breath caught. The Harvester scout ship was not just hiding, it was building something. Huge mechanical tendrils extended from the ship. Machines crawled across the lunar surface like metal insects. Giant circular structures were forming, dark, sharp, and unnaturally symmetrical. "What is that?" Ryan whispered. Threya's voice shook. "A gate." Ryan turned sharply. "A gate for what?" Xeron swallowed hard. "For the rest of them." Ryan stepped back in shock. "So they're not coming from deep space, they're coming through the moon?" Threya nodded. "Harvesters travel with wormhole technology. A scout always builds the entry gate. Once it is complete, their war fleets pour out." Ryan stared at the moon, feeling the weight of the galaxy crushing him. A monster wasn't coming from far away. A doorway for monsters was being built right next to Earth. General Marcus stormed into the room, furious and panicked. "We're mobilizing the lunar defense fleet. We're blasting that structure to dust." "No," Xeron shouted. "You cannot attack." Ryan turned to the ambassadors. "Why not? If we destroy it now, the fleet can't come." Threya looked at him with deep sorrow. "Because if you destroy the gate, they will build another, and they will choose a method far more violent." Xeron nodded. "The scout is testing your restraint. Destroy it now. And the harvesters will send a cleansing fleet instead of a regular one." Ryan frowned. "What's a cleansing fleet?" Threya whispered. "Planet killers." Ryan's chest tightened. "So if we fight now, Earth dies. If we wait, Earth dies slower." No one spoke. Humanity had been pushed into a game they did not understand and could not win by normal rules. Ryan stared at the moon. He felt anger rising in his chest. Not panic, not fear, anger. "No," he said quietly. "We are humans. We don't follow the rules of monsters. We make our own." Xeron looked confused. "What are you planning, Commander?" Ryan stared at the moon, eyes burning with new fire. "We're going to stop them," he said, "but not by playing their game." Threya whispered. "Then how?" Ryan turned to them with something they've never seen before. He didn't know what the plan was yet, but he knew one thing: humans didn't survive because they were strong or fast or ancient. Humans survived because they were unpredictable, and unpredictability was something the harvesters had never faced. The moon was no longer a quiet gray rock. It had become the construction site of a monster. Earth watched helplessly through telescopes and satellites as the Harvester scout ship continued building the gate. Metal tendrils spread across the lunar surface like roots of a growing nightmare. Circular rings rotated slowly, glowing with a strange red light. Humanity had never felt so small, but Commander Ryan Hale refused to feel powerless. He stood inside the war planning chamber, surrounded by holograms of Earth's fleet defense grids and the strange Harvester gate. Generals argued loudly around him. "We attack now before the gate finishes." "We cannot. The aliens said that will trigger a cleansing fleet." "Then what do we do? Sit and die?" The room was chaos, but Ryan noticed something the others didn't. While everyone looked at the gate, Ryan looked at the shadows around it. He pointed at the hologram. "Zoom in that area there." The image magnified. Everyone leaned forward. Machines crawled across the moon's surface, but some were moving differently, slow, shaky, almost broken. Ryan narrowed his eyes. "There, they malfunction." "Why?" Threya studied the footage. "Those machines are not built for low gravity. The moon's environment is harming their stability." Ryan felt a spark of hope. "So their tech isn't perfect?" Xeron nodded slowly. "No species is perfect, not even them." General Marcus grabbed onto the idea. "Then we can exploit that weakness." But Threya shook her head. "Not with direct force. If the scout ship feels threatened, it will call the fleet instantly." Ryan paced slowly, thinking. "No direct attack, no explosions, no weapons, so we need something subtle, something invisible." He looked up sharply. "A stealth mission." The room fell silent. General Marcus folded his arms. "A stealth mission on the moon under the nose of the most deadly species alive." Ryan nodded. "Yes." Threya looked horrified. "That is suicide." Ryan shook his head. "It's humanity's only chance." Xeron stepped closer. "What will the mission do?" Ryan turned to the hologram of the gate. "We don't destroy it. We don't attack it. We slow it down." Everyone stared. Ryan explained, "Harvesters expect us to react with fear or violence, but they don't expect sabotage. If we delay construction little by little, we buy time." General Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Time for what?" Ryan replied, "To prepare Earth, to unite the species, to build a defense that even harvesters won't expect." The idea spread across the room like fire. A subtle plan, a human plan, one that didn't follow harvester logic. Marcus straightened. "All right, who leads the mission?" Ryan answered without hesitation. "I do." Threya stared at him with concern. "You are the harvester's chosen target. If they sense you near the gate." Ryan cut her off. "They won't." Xeron studied him carefully. "You're risking everything." Ryan looked at the moon, jaw tight. "My life means nothing if Earth burns." Marcus nodded. "Then we assemble a team, only the best." But before Ryan could respond, the alarms blared again. "Alert! Activity on the moon. Harvester scout is moving." Everyone rushed to the observation screen. What they saw made their blood run cold. The Harvester scout wasn't continuing the gate. It was descending, slowly, dangerously, toward the Earth-facing side of the moon. General Marcus whispered, "What is it doing?" Ryan's eyes widened. "It's scouting the homeworld." Xeron's voice trembled. "Harvesters always study prey's planet before invasion. They observe how you live, how you panic, how you die. Threya added softly, they enjoy the fear. Marcus clenched his fists. I swear I'll, but Ryan raised a hand. Don't react, don't attack, not yet. The Harvester Scout moved like a giant shadow sliding across the moon's horizon. It stopped above a large crater, then something unbelievable happened. The ship's entire surface shifted, opening like a giant metal flower. Inside, a glowing red sphere pulsed. Massive. Alive, Threya gasped. That is a mind core. Ryan frowned. What's a mind core? Xeron explained in a terrified whisper. A Harvester mind core is their intelligence, their memory, their command. When a mind core opens, it is listening. Ryan stared at the glowing sphere. It's listening for what? Threya looked at him slowly. For you. The room froze. Ryan stepped closer to the screen. Me. Xeron nodded. You survived their test at Station 9. They marked you. Now the mind core wants to speak with you directly. Ryan felt chills up his spine. The speakers in the command center crackled. Everyone turned. A dark voice filled the room, deeper than anything before, colder than space. Human. Ryan's body stiffened. You hide behind your world. The voice vibrated the walls. But we smell your fear. Everyone stared at Ryan. The voice continued. Come to the moon, Ryan Hale. Come alone. Ryan's heart dropped. Or your species dies sooner. The transmission ended. Silence swallowed the room. General Marcus stepped forward aggressively. You're not going, that's an order. Ryan didn't answer. Threya whispered in fear. Ryan, this is a trap, a cruel one. Ryan stared at the moon, feeling something strange, familiar, the same feeling he had inside Station 9, but now it was stronger. He turned to the council. I have to meet it. Marcus yelled. No, you don't. Ryan faced him calmly. If I don't go, they'll come here. If I do go, maybe we buy time. Xeron stepped forward. You won't come back. Ryan looked him in the eyes. Then I'll die buying Earth a future. The room fell silent. Marcus finally spoke, his voice low. You really are human to the core, insane courage. Ryan looked at the moon again, the glowing red sphere pulsing like a heartbeat. Prepare the stealth shuttle, he said quietly. I'm going to meet the monster. Earth Command didn't sleep that night. No one did. News spread like wildfire. Commander Ryan Hale was going to the moon alone to face the Harvester Mind Core. Some people cried, some people prayed, some called him insane, others called him a hero. Ryan didn't listen to any of it. He stood inside the hangar, staring at the stealth shuttle that would carry him into the jaws of the most deadly species in the galaxy. The shuttle was small and covered in reflective plating that bent radar signals away, a perfect ghost ship. General Marcus approached him, arms crossed. You really think you can reason with that thing? Ryan took a slow breath. I'm not going there to reason, I'm going to learn. Marcus frowned. Learn what? Ryan looked at the moon through the glass window. Its surface glowed faintly under the sunlight, but on the dark side there was a pulsing red light. Why they chose us, Ryan said. And how to stop them? Marcus sighed. You know this is suicide. Ryan gave a half smile. Maybe, but it's better than letting Earth die. Before Marcus could respond, Threya and Xeron entered the hangar. Threya handed Ryan a small silver device. I made this for you. It's a translator shield. It might reduce the psychic effects of a mind core. Ryan raised an eyebrow. Psychic effects? Xeron nodded. Yes, a Harvester mind core can reach into your mind. Twist your thoughts, break you from the inside. Threya added quietly, it will try to control you, Ryan, or at least learn your deepest fears. Ryan slipped the device into his suit. I appreciate the warning. Xeron stepped closer. If the mind core speaks inside your head, do not answer with fear, they feed on it. Ryan nodded. I understand, but deep inside he wasn't sure he did. The journey begins. Ryan entered the shuttle, the door sealed behind him. The engines hummed softly, silent enough to hide from Harvester sensors. Control screens lit up. Stealth systems online, radar bent, thermal signature reduced. Everything was ready. General Marcus's voice came through the speaker. Good luck, Commander. For what it's worth, humanity stands behind you. Ryan nodded silently and launched the shuttle. The small craft shot into the sky, passing through clouds and breaking into the dark vacuum of space. Below him, Earth glowed blue and beautiful. Above him, the moon loomed in cold silence. As he approached, he saw the Harvester Gate again, huge, twisted, alive, and beside it the Mind Core, a glowing red sphere the size of a stadium, pulsing, breathing, waiting. Ryan felt the first touch of fear. Inside his helmet, his breath quickened, and then a voice crawled into his mind, not through speakers, not through radio, directly into his thoughts. You came. Ryan stiffened. The translator shield buzzed, reducing the psychic impact, but the voice still felt like claws scratching inside his skull. He whispered to himself, stay calm, don't show fear. The voice responded instantly, you try to hide it, how amusing. Ryan clenched his jaw. He didn't speak aloud, but the voice heard him anyway. Your fear tastes new, we like new. Ryan closed his eyes for a moment. Focus, he told himself. Remember why you're here. He brought the shuttle down gently, landing inside a crater near the Mind Core. The ground shook with each pulse of the huge red sphere. Ryan stepped out. The moon's silence was crushing. No wind, no noise, just the beating heart of a monster. The Mind Core rotated slowly to face him. A wave of psychic pressure hit him like 1,000 whispers pressed into his skull. His knees bent, his vision blurred, but the translator shield softened the attack. Ryan stood firm. The Mind Core's voice returned, louder, deeper. You survived again, interesting. Ryan forced himself to speak aloud. What do you want from Earth? The Mind Core responded instantly. Everything. Ryan swallowed. We don't want war. The Mind Core pulsed brighter. Then why did you send your challenge? Ryan shook his head. It wasn't a challenge, it was a probe, a peaceful message. The core grew darker, slowly, warningly. Lies. Ryan stepped forward. We didn't even know you existed. The ground trembled violently. Ignorance is no excuse. A prey that trespasses into the hunter's den must suffer. Ryan felt anger rising in his chest. We aren't prey. This time the Mind Core laughed, a horrifying metallic sound. All species say that before they scream. Ryan tightened his fists. Why do you do this? Why hunt everyone? The core shifted. Because it is the natural order. Strong consumes weak. Hunter consumes prey. Life exists to be harvested. Ryan shook his head. That's not life, that's cruelty. The Mind Core pulsed sharply like it was offended. Cruelty, you speak of morals. Your species destroys its own world, kills its own children, wastes its potential. Ryan froze. How do you know that? We see your memories, your failures, your wars, your fears. Ryan felt a sharp pain. The Mind Core was pushing deeper into his thoughts, into his past. He gritted his teeth. Get out of my head. The core's voice became silkier. We only taste what you offer. Your guilt is delicious. Ryan stepped back, breath shaking. The Mind Core changed tone. But you are different. Ryan blinked. Different how? The core rotated closer. You do not break easily. Your mind fights. You resist even against fear. Ryan felt a spark of hope. So that's why you chose me. Yes, you interest us. You are unpredictable. Ryan realized something terrifying. Harvesters did not understand humans, not truly. They knew fear, but not anger, not hope, not defiance. Ryan straightened his back. Maybe that's why you fear us. The ground shook violently. The Mind Core pulsed with rage. We fear nothing. Ryan smiled bitterly. You fear what you don't understand. The core screamed inside his head, a blast of psychic force that nearly knocked him unconscious. But Ryan didn't fall. He stayed standing. That moment, that single second, sent a shock through the Mind Core because for the first time in its long existence, a prey did not kneel. The core's voice returned slower. You are dangerous for prey. Ryan stepped even closer. We are not prey, we are humans, and we adapt and we fight. The core grew darker. Then you will die last. Ryan whispered, at least we'll make you bleed first. Silence. Then the core spoke again. Leave now, Ryan Hale. Tell your world the great harvest begins soon. The ground cracked, the gate glowed, the Mind Core folded back into its metal shell like a monster resting. Ryan turned away slowly. He had survived. He had spoken to the enemy. He had learned one vital truth: humans were not predictable, and harvesters had no idea what humanity could become. Ryan walked back to the shuttle. The war hadn't started yet, but now, humanity finally knew the enemy. And the enemy finally knew humanity. Commander Ryan Hale's shuttle lifted from the moon's surface in silence. Behind him, the Harvester Mind Core folded into its dark metal shell like a monster returning to sleep. But Ryan knew the truth. It wasn't sleeping, it was waiting. The journey back to Earth felt much longer than the trip to the moon. The darkness around him felt heavier now, as if the stars themselves understood what was coming. Inside the shuttle, Ryan replayed the encounter in his mind, the voices, the psychic attack, the revelation. Humans scared the harvesters, not because they were strong, but because they were impossible to predict. Ryan whispered to himself, they don't understand us, and that's our only advantage. Returning to Earth when the shuttle docked at Earth Command, hundreds of soldiers, officers, and scientists rushed forward, not cheering, but staring in stunned silence. Ryan stepped out slowly, each movement painful. His mind felt bruised. General Marcus rushed to him. Commander, report. What did you learn? Ryan looked up at the general, his eyes darker than before. They are coming. Everyone stiffened. Threya stepped closer. Ryan, did you speak to the Mind Core? Ryan nodded. It spoke inside my head. It showed me what they think of us. Xeron swallowed. And what do they think? Ryan answered in a low voice. That we're prey, but prey that fights back. Marcus frowned. Did you learn anything useful? Weaknesses, vulnerabilities? Ryan shook his head. Not yet, but I learned something more important. Everyone leaned in. Ryan continued. They don't understand humans, not our logic, not our instincts, not our anger, not our hope. He looked at the hologram of the moon, a red glow pulsing like a heartbeat. They've studied every species they've hunted, but humans were new to them, unknown, unpredictable. Threya looked hopeful for the first time. That means you confused them. Ryan nodded, and confusion is fear. Xeron whispered, this has never happened before, a prey species making a Mind Core hesitate. Marcus smirked, so maybe we have a chance. But Ryan stepped forward, voice firm, we don't have a chance yet, but we have a direction. He projected the map of the gate onto the main screen. The gate is almost complete. When it opens, the fleet pours through. Scientists murmured nervously, we have weeks at most. Maybe days. Ryan raised a hand. But we also know something else. The scouting machines malfunction on moon terrain. Marcus's eyes widened. So we sabotage the gate, slow it down. Ryan shook his head. No, something bigger. He zoomed in on the gate diagram. When the harvester fleet arrives, they expect an easy kill. They expect humans to panic. They expect fear. He looked around the room. But what if instead of fear, we show them something they've never seen before? Threya tilted her head. What is that? Ryan answered with a cold smile. Unity. Xeron blinked. Unity. Ryan nodded slowly. Harvesters never faced a world that fights together, not separate nations, not separate armies, one planet, one species, humanity as a single fist. The room fell silent. Marcus looked almost shocked. You're suggesting global unification, full militarization. Ryan nodded firmly. Yes, every country, every base, every colony, every mind. Threya whispered, they will not expect that. Ryan stared at the moon again. They expect chaos. Instead, we give them strategy. They expect weakness. Instead, we give them fire. Ryan tapped the hologram of the gate. And when they come through that gate, they won't meet prey. He lowered his voice, full of steel. They'll meet humans. Sudden alarm, a new threat suddenly. Alarms in Earth Command screamed. Alert, unidentified object leaving moon surface speed, extreme vector, Earth. Everyone turned toward the main screen. A small object launched from the harvester gate, small, fast, and burning with red energy. What is that? Marcus yelled. Xeron's face went pale. A seed, Threya gasped. Oh no, not a seed, not now. Ryan grabbed Threya's arm. What is a seed? Threya spoke with shaking breath. A harvester seed is not a weapon. It is worse, much worse. Ryan's heart pounded. Explain. Xeron closed his eyes. It lands on a planet and begins changing it. Ryan's voice hardened. Changing it how? Threya answered slowly. A seed spreads like infection. It grows metal roots, consumes oxygen, rewrites biology, turns everything into harvester matter. Ryan felt his blood freeze. A planet killer. Threya nodded. A slow one, a cruel one. They're testing Earth. Marcus slammed his fist. Down, tech officers panicked. We can't lock onto it. It's too fast. It's jamming sensors. Ryan looked at the red streak cutting toward Earth. In seconds it would hit atmosphere. He whispered, this is the first strike. Threya looked at him with fear. If the seed reaches the surface, Earth is doomed. Ryan looked at Marcus. No time for committee, no time for plans. He took a deep breath. Prepare the orbital defense cannon. Marcus blinked. The cannon is experiment. It's unstable. Ryan cut him off. If that seed hits Earth, we lose the planet. If the cannon explodes, we lose a weapon. Marcus gritted his teeth. Fire it. The first human counterattacked. The orbital cannon charged. Energy built up. The entire station shook. Tech officer shouted, target locked, firing now. A giant blue beam shot from Earth's orbit, a straight lance of light. It collided with the seed mid-space. A blinding explosion ripped across the sky. Everyone held their breath. Smoke cleared. The seed was still coming, burning, damaged, but intact. It roared through the atmosphere like a falling star. Ryan shouted, impact zone. Tech officer screamed, sir, it's heading for North Africa region, high population. Ryan's face went white. Evacuate the zone now. Marcus turned to the officers. Move, move. The final seconds the seed dropped lower. Its red glow spread like bloody light across clouds. Ryan watched the screen, breath tight. His mind flashed back to the Mind Core's last words, you will die last. Then boom, the seed slammed into Earth. A shockwave of red energy rippled across the land. People screamed, cities shook, oceans trembled, and where the seed landed, something began to grow, something metallic, something alive, something harvester. Ryan whispered in terror, they've started changing Earth. General Marcus clenched his fists. This is war. Ryan stared at the expanding red infection on the ground. No, he whispered, this is just the beginning. He looked up at the moon, at the gate, at the pulsing red glow, and for the first time in human history, Commander Ryan Hale understood Earth was no longer preparing for war. Earth was in the war.